Plays to 0 and 2 goals from Danny Tickle. Well, at the moment, Sean Long has made a very successful return to St Helens, who are under the microscope and under pressure like never before at the start of the season. St Helens have won more Super League titles, 5 in 14 years, but 2010 could be their toughest test yet. And the evidence of the first 40 minutes of 2010 here at Nosey Road, I think that is the understatement of the season so far, because the standards have risen across the board.
Well, we're very pleased, won't he, Richard Agar, and he's every right to feel proud as well with the switch. A lot of people perhaps thought that Sean Long, a little bit long in the tooth, couldn't perhaps do it. Well, it's early days, but he's certainly made an impact on this particular game, and so has the hooker, Sean Berrigan. He really has worked hard. He's controlled things at the play the ball area.
Yes, they've looked accomplished, haven't they? The bits we can see. Just another reminder that Ben Thaler is the man in charge in the middle. He will decide as far as on-pitch conditions are concerned. The Rugby Football League has got the match commissioner, Dave Campbell, and St Helens have their ground safety officer in attendance, and they will decide whether this game sees itself through to the 80 minutes from a spectator and viewing point of view. It is their decision and their decision alone. It was their decision to kick the game off, and I must say at this particular point in time, this second, the conditions are no worse than they were at 6 o'clock, so it would be a very brave man to call it off right now. However, if it comes down in a thick blanket, well, it'll be decision made, and then the committee who looks at these things for the Rugby Football League, the operational committee, will decide whether the result stands. And Kyle Eastman was clattered after he got the kick away, or as he got the kick away, perhaps is a better way of putting it, and he's in a spot of bother at the moment. Remember, St Helens have already lost Adi Gardner. Did he not get clattered there? Was it maybe just a pulled hamstring or something, or an ankle or something like that? Did he?
I don't think anybody made any contact, Eddie, unless it was a stray leg. But I think we also. Yeah, he's just pulled it.
No, he didn't. No, you're right. It was Danny Tickle in close attendance. My apologies to him. It was just purely and simply maybe a pull or a tear or something like that. He's not off the field yet, I don't think. I can see him over on the far side. Bill, you're closer to him than we are. What's he looking like?
He's not looking too clever. Well, he is actually moving a bit better now as he rejoins the defensive line, but he's just signalled to the physio that he needs a bit of treatment, and he's getting that treatment now. Not just Adi Gardner is off, Soliola is off as well. Gardner will not be back. Soliola, they're going to give another opportunity to have a run up and down this touchline in a moment, but he's not looking clever either. The last thing we need is Eastman hobbling off, but he is still hobbling.
That's Leon Price. Here is John Wilkin, and that pass was to the touch judge.
Well, it's very rare you see the lack of coordination from the St Helens outfit. John Wilkin knew that there should have been a winger there, but I'm afraid.
Well, Gary Wheeler had just been involved in the middle of the field on the previous play, and I suppose that would be his defence for why he wasn't there to receive that pass from John Wilkin.
Well, Mick Potter realises that next time they do get the possession, that they really need someone to spark it, and he surely will be getting the message out to Leon Price, the experienced standoff, and say, come on, you've got to start asking a few questions. Got to take on this whole defence, maybe change the tactic, little chip over the top.
That's Peter Cusack, number 17. Berrigan waits at dummy half. Long trying to take them on himself up the middle. Referee shouted at Kieran Cunningham then that he hadn't been standing square at the play of the ball, and he's now penalised Kieran Cunningham for not standing square at the play of the ball because he got involved and then he moved away.
You'd kick at goal from here, wouldn't you, where the referee stood?
I think you probably would. Well, but I don't think Hull are going to, by the looks of things, or are they?
To be fair to the referee, Ben Thaler allowed the advantage, which was obviously no progress made. over that advantage line, and he was shouting to Cunningham. Well, you'd think that Kieran, with all that experience, should realise that you have to stand behind the man. And this is a cheap penalty, you'd have to say, from that fella there. The experience, many years, much triumphs through his career, but he realises that they're in a deep hole.
What Sean Long brings to the team, he takes a lot of attention. He demands defenders come towards him. It's giving Richard Horne a lot of space, and I think it could really help Richard Horne kick on as a player this year, having Sean Long in the side. Watch how many defenders he attracts, even when he doesn't get the ball. So it should free up a little more space for Richard Horne.
This is Danny Tickle now with the chance to add 2 more points from the penalty given against Kieran Cunningham for not standing square. And Danny Tickle duly obliges. Hull increased the lead to 14 points. Just a word about Kieran Cunningham, who was penalised there. It's his 499th career appearance tonight. And very few in conditions like this, I think, over the past 15 years in Super League. This is my last season, he says. Young Player of the Year way back in 1996. And a contender, even in the opening week of the season, a contender for Man of Steel 2010. He has to be, you would think. Mind you, he has had to be, you would think, over the course of many of those 15 years, but he's never got a sniff.
Well, it's very early days. Obviously, you can't write them off, but I have been disappointed by the fact that when St Helens, they started explosive stuff in the opening 10-15 minutes, made a few breaks, but from there on in, Hull have just controlled this game. The kick and chase has been superb, as we've mentioned so many times. The defence and his offload there is superb.
This is Richard Horne. He has Sean Long in support, and Long comes back to haunt St Helens. The crowd at the other end didn't realise it for a moment. I don't know if they know who has scored, but it is Sean Long. The break was magnificent, the support from Horne, and Long, as he has done here for 12 trophy-laden years, was the man in the right place at the right time in support, and Long crowns his comeback to Knowsley Road with a try that just might push Hull towards the first 2 points on the league ladder for them this season, and a big smile.
Well, I don't know who is the mayor of Hull at the moment, but I reckon that gold chain might be just swapped very shortly indeed. Back on the inside, Horne just absolutely laid on a superb pass. It was outstanding, wasn't it? A little flick and then back in. Keep your cool. It's a dream.
Well, we're all allowed to guess. I'm going to go for Danny Tickle with a break down the middle of the ruck and the one-handed offload out to the back. We might get another angle from it soon, but it was a fantastic run, wasn't it? Penetrating around that soft spot in the middle of the field. Sean Long knows it's happy days.
It's happy days, and what's more, he is a hero in East Yorkshire already. And Tickle adds 2 more points. 20 points to 0. Sean Long's try. You couldn't have written the script, could you?
Yeah, it looks like Tickle, you're right, but look out, well Richard Horne. Either way, whoever it is, it was a black and white. And that man there has come back to haunt his former club with a sheer display of wonderful rugby league football. Let's play on.
It is, and James Graham got it. And here now comes St Helens on the counter-attack.
Well, they've nothing to lose now, Saints. Mick Potter's got to get the message out. Take them on. Kyle Eastman, forget about being first receiver. You've got to ask a few questions. So has the halfback partner, Leon Price. This is a time to stand up, fellas, if you want to get back into this game.
Eastman's pass finds Wilkin. The whole defence stands firm. Cunningham scoots in at dummy half. He gives it to Graham. Graham then is short ball. Is that Fozzard? Fozzard underneath the sticks for St Helens. Now it's with Graham! Graham scores for the Saints, does he?
Well, if he's held him off, this is outstanding.
Great positioning by the official Ben Thaler.
Take a bow, Luaki.
How's that for strength? Ripped him over.
On the 10.
Oh boy, you'd admire that. You've got to.
Wait, guys.
Luaki showed his strength with ball in hand to score the try, and it infuriated James Graham.
This is the last tackle for St Helens, running it on the last, and the whole line is kept intact.
Great work by Craig Fitzgibbon.
He's all right.
He may have a few years under his belt, but he's experienced enough to get himself in a good position.
Hold it.
He'll be a great acquisition as well to this Hull outfit.
St Helens seeking a 9th win in the last 10 meetings with Hull. The sequence includes an Old Trafford Grand Final and a Challenge Cup final at Wembley. But Hull tonight, they're leading by 20 points to 0. And we've played 10 minutes of the second half. Last tackle here for Hull. It's with Long. Goes up in the air.
Give him 10. Okay.
And it's picked up by Wellens, I think.
It's probably worth pointing out one of the reasons why Hull are 20 points ahead. Admittedly, they've come up with some great players, but they've had 30 play of the balls more than St Helens in the match so far. 50 minutes in, that's a significant amount of possessional advantage that the black and white side have had. They've used it well, and they've defended very well too when Saints have had the ball. But if those possession stats start to even up, there'll be a test for the next 30 minutes for Hull and Richard Agar.
It will indeed, and Hull have also benefited on the penalty count as well, 7-4. But you can see what the possession is in this second half. It's overwhelmingly in Hull's favour. Penalty, is it? Yes, it is. Penalty to St Helens.
Well, they want to get on with it and kick it into the corner as quickly as possible. Messing around there by Ewan Dowes it was. Fossard takes it up.
Fossard with the first drive. Cunningham in at dummy half, 20 metres away. Here is Graham. 3 cut James Graham to the ground. Cunningham waits, so too does Fossard. He fancies another run, but it goes back to Eastman, who finds Leon Price. And the ball is dropped by Wellens. And Hull have it back again.
And as a player, this is where the head might drop. You can't seem to find a way through the defence. You're wondering what you can do next to get through. St Helens have tried a lot of different things tonight. Hull have answered every single one of the questions that have been asked of them in defence.
It's worth remembering that St Helens are at their best when the sun is shining, the pitch is firm, and they really are, you know, the weather is at its best in this country. They're not a winter side. Your best chance of beating them are in conditions like this. I remember Harlequins coming here a couple of years ago, winning at the start of the season again. A very cold night, I think there was even snow around.
Look at this run again from Luaki. What a play he is. What a half he's having. Tremendous run from Luaki. And the crowd at St Helens are booing their favourites. Ball just goes too deep on the kick.
Have a look at this. Have a look at the replay of this run if we get to see it.
Well, he's certainly made a name for himself, hasn't he? Within the first 15 minutes, it's unbelievable.
Here's Graham again for St Helens. And Cunningham is at dummy half. Bill, I think you've got some more news for us.
Oh, you've got to take your hat off to James Graham. What a warrior that guy is. He is still out there, and I'm sure he's got a chest or shoulder problem. He's had 3 visits from physio Joey Hayes so far. He's waved him away once, and Hayes is back out there again, I think, to look at him. Graham is still putting his shoulder, it's probably his injured shoulder, to the wheel for Saints. He will not give up.
Yes, he was waved away again, Joey Hayes, by James Graham. And here he is again. We'll take it up, first man.
Well, he's given it everything, hasn't he? But let's face it, this whole defence, you know, apart from the first 15 minutes when they looked a little bit shaky, probably a little bit nervous, but from there on in, they have been so solid.
And he's in real trouble, is James Graham. He's just winced again. It's not been a good day for him. trailing here, injured obviously, and his team, Everton, beaten in the Merseyside derby on Sky Sports earlier on today by Liverpool 1-0.
Well, even when Saints spread it out wide, this sliding defence is very controlled. We saw that last night from the Huddersfield Giants. It was a great effort from them.
Here's Fozzard.
Oh, look at that. That's bone-crunching defence.
I think Tickle got a bang in the face then. He clutched his head as he hit the ground, and the referee holds up play wisely because he's lying in the ruck. Danny Tickle. Fozzard collected that pass with both feet off the ground, and I think then Tickle collected a nasty bang.
Yeah, it was a collision of the heads.
Gives Hull a great chance to get the breath back. Couple of penalties late in the tackle count now, giving St Helens this wonderful field position. Does enough to stop Fozzard. What are we here now on the try line, and the 2 tackles left in this set. Massive moment in the match here, massive. If Saints get a sniff here with the try, they'll come like the cavalry charging over the hill.
Well, we've seen it so many times, Phil, haven't we? They've got the ability out there, but they're looking a little bit lost for ideas in regards to how to get through the black and white defence.
Cunningham, and here is Wilkin. Solid run from Wilkin, big hit by Cusack.
And that's a
turnover.
That's a second occasion, Eddie, that they've gone for the power play. Look at this break here.
This is outstanding. He's had to come off and have a spell after this, but you wouldn't see this from an outside back.
Well, he's exciting, isn't he? Epelhami, Luaki, the former New Zealand international, 3 caps for Tonga. Ex-New Zealand Warriors. Took him a wee while to get across to the UK to play for Hull at the back end of last season, but I think he's going to stamp his mark on 2010.
I think it took him a little while to get into shape as well, didn't it? Looks a completely different body to the one we saw in those 3 matches last year.
Yeah, aren't I right in thinking that he actually put his hand through a plate glass window at home, didn't he? And I think that delayed his arrival in the UK. It was just one of a sorry stories for Hull throughout 2009. But I tell you what, Steve, 20-0 at the home of St Helens.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
Outstanding.
Yeah, this is something that Richard Agar would have dreamed about, but he realised that he thought that he would get the cattle on the field, that they would be a different proposition, and they've done it. You talk about this Luaki, the way that he just fends off every. You talk about him, he's put his hand through a plate glass window. I'm not surprised. I've never seen a fend like him from a forward for years like that. He's devastating. The message is out to everyone else in Super League. You just don't go high on this guy. You've got to go for his legs. That's the only way you're going to stop him. He's a powerhouse.
More news on James Graham, Bill.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. I think it is chest bruising to the chest he's just actually come off, being replaced by Maury Fasavalu, and he's in a lot of discomfort as he takes his place on the bench.
Well, it's a match that is of some cost to St Helens. Soliola, Gardner and now Graham have taken nasty knocks. They trail by 20 points to 0.
And the biggest problem for Saints and their coach Mick Potter is the fact that James Graham has been their best player.
This defence is outstanding. You've got to sit back and admire this.
Here is Eastman again for St Helens. Ball back on the inside. They keep it alive as they always do. The ball flicks off long and is picked up by Jordan Tansey. Look, I don't want to count too many chickens for the black and whites, but St Helens have never been nilled at home in Super League before. And here comes another tremendous break.
It's Tom Briscoe.
Briscoe has got some pace, and this is going to be a length of the field try. Thank you, Phil. I'm going to get these glasses changed on Monday. Tom Briscoe. I'm going to get the foggy glasses out. And Tom Briscoe from one end of the field to the other. And I hate to say it, that could be curtains for St Helens on this opening night.
And coaches love that, turning defence into attack. Watch the transition when the ball comes through. How quickly Tom Briscoe reacts. Shows a clean pair of heels to everybody. Gary Wheeler did his very best trying to come from the other side. But credit to Tom Briscoe. This is an outstanding effort.
Well, you say it might be curtains. It was a blanket of fog, but he just put his head back and said, we're going for it. They really should have got to him. He came out of the haze, he came out of the fog. Look at that. Gets into top gear. This is unbelievable. The fans here at St. Helens just cannot believe what they are watching.
He's done that.
They have been ripped apart.
He's done it with one boot on. One sock, one boot.
He has. You're right.
Well,
Tom
it didn't slow
Briscoe.
him down, did it? And it replaces that boot.
Well, the St. Helens fans now, Eddie, they're just hoping for some more fog. Obviously, the scoreboard's going against them. They think they've given up on the team. The pros here now are for some more fog. I think the
Phil,
match abandoned is their best hope.
Even if the fog came down, it goes to the operationals committee, and this result will stand at 24-0.
Oh, Eddie,
you would think so.
Operational committee now.
You would think so.
you could take it to the European, couldn't you? It didn't matter.
The European Court of Whole Rights.
Court of Justice, it wouldn't matter. They'd get turned down. The black and whites have got this one wrapped up, and they fully deserve it.
Fitzgibbon has taken over the kicking responsibility with Tickle injured. And he got that nasty bang in the face. And he's kicked his first goal in Hull's colours. 26 points to 0. And the St. Helens faithful, and they've had some glorious years over the past 15 seasons, they are losing patience after less than an hour of 2010.
Yeah, fans of short memories.
And that's
that
a
is
short
for sure.
kickoff.
Yeah.
And Tansey has collected it. It's a knock-on though, and St. Helens will have head and feed. Heaviest defeats in Super League previously, both by Wigan. 65-12 in 1997, 42-4 in September 2000. Still over 20 minutes to go. They, of course, are their heaviest home defeats in Super League for St. Helens. This is not proving to be a great night for the Saints. 3 players injured and a 26-0 scoreline against them.
Did you see how that whole defence came out of the line? Quicksilver, bang, straight into them. They're all over them. They've given them very little room to move. This is outstanding.
Farsavalou. Ewan Dowes was in there. Here comes Wellens. Last tackle, 8 metres away. Price dummy half. Here's Eastman, stabbed through. Gobbled up by this whole defence. Here they come again.
And you know, supporters make a lot of sacrifices with their time and money, and every now and again they go on a trip which they'll never forget. The black and white faithful who've travelled here today will never forget this night. It's the start of 2010 season. They hope it's the start of a successful one, but they'll never ever have dreamt that they could be 26 points up with 20 minutes to go.
And it's fully deserved. The respect that St. Helens is having to give to this whole defence is that they've been opting on that 3 or 4 last missions to score the try. They've had to go to the kick, and still they've yet to make the scoreboard click in their direction.
Craig Fitzgibbon just played the ball then on that 4th tackle, and here's an incredible statistic for you. He's only played once before against St. Helens. That was for the Roosters in the World Club Challenge in 2003. They won that night, the Roosters, 38 points to 0. Here he is playing his first match in the colours of Hull, and look at the scoreline, 26 points to 0. It's not all Hull's one-way traffic though. Some injury news from the black and white camp. Bill?
Yeah, just an explanation as why Craig Fitzgibbon was kicking for that last conversion. Is Danny Tickle we saw down earlier on, and it looked as though it might be quite a serious one. He's just got a poke in the eye in actual fact, and having trouble seeing out of his left eye, which is not going to help things because it's hard enough with both working normally out there at the moment from this side of the field. It is still thick on the far side of the pitch. You really are struggling to see what's going on.
Yes, well, we're having the same problem this side. Bill, don't worry about that. But we can now see, because this is Leon Price, just close to us.
Well, I have to say, Eddie, I posed the question yesterday. I posed it again just before this match kicked off. how would Mick Potter, the Saints coach, utilise the man out there, the youngster, Kyle Eastman? I wanted him to be productive, yes, but I also wanted to have the bit of spark, and all he's trying to do is get first receiver and get the others getting over the advantage line. He really hasn't caused the whole defence any problems at all.
Wilkins kick to the corner, looking for Wheeler, and that's off the fingertips of the winger Craig Hall. It's a goal line dropout, a bit of St Helens pressure coming in here then.
He did well, did Hall, and he took the right option. You don't take a gamble, not when you're leading 26-0. You just say, OK, we've got to drop out, they'll get the possession.
Away at Widnes on loan last year, he won a Northern Rail Cup winners medal with the Widnes Vikings.
Well, 26-0, Eddie. Richard Agar should have a huge smile on his face, but he realises it's still a long way to go. He'll be happy, he'll be pleased.
Oh, this is only the start.
I know, he won't be getting carried away.
This is only the start for Richard Agar and Hull, but there has been a lot of people talking about the black and whites throughout the course of the winter, looking at the signings, saying they're going to go well. And who was it on Boots and All on Wednesday who tipped them to go all the way this year? It was our learned friend, wasn't it?
Phil Clark.
I don't mind you saying that. I don't often get it right. It is
Eastman.
Eastman.
Great ball to Eastman. That's a great tackle, though, by Jordan Tansey.
That's got to be a penalty. He had a second goal. He's given it. He allowed the advantage to Ben Taylor. That's good referee.
Oh, it's in the bin. Jordan Tansey's in the sin bin.
And it's a professional foul. Is every right to do that. I know it's early in the season, but I'm going to say we've had a referee tonight that has been absolutely spot on. I hope I can say that throughout Super League, but it was a wonderful effort, but he went a second go, and Tansey deserves the sin bin.
Well, Eastman went to run away, didn't he, from the tackle, and was the tackle completed? Anyway, it's interpretation and how you view it, and on a night like this, you view it at your peril. Well, 17 minutes, 16 minutes anyway, remaining here, and Hull down to 12 men, and St Helens, are they over?
Gidley's just short.
Just short.
What's the video ref, though?
Oh, he does want a video referee.
Oh, the video ref's in London.
Gidley thinks that perhaps he scored.
There'll be tackle 3. I think he's short. When I got round, he's short.
I think he's short. Gidley, I think even Gidley realises that he may be a few inches away from the whitewash.
I was just going to say, Steve-O, with 12 men against them, is this the time when St Helens mount the fight back?
Hold on, have a look.
This is so difficult.
Have a look.
Benefit of doubt.
And the ball some part of the ball has to touch the white line. That's the rule, isn't it, for a try?
We
Well,
saw
let's
one
look at
similar
it.
to this last night, didn't we?
Yeah,
The knee of Willie Manu might have done something.
I think it stopped it. I think it's short. Oh, well, maybe he squeezed it in there.
I'm going try.
Yeah, I think I'd have to change my mind. I don't often do this, but I think on the second effect, the impact, Manu with the knee, looks as though he stopped it, and then it rolls forward. That's a great effort. Matt Gidley has squeezed it over the line.
Well, the man with the decision is Steve Ganson,
I think he'll give it.
and he handed a similar decision upstairs last night at Huddersfield to Thierry Alibert, and if I remember rightly, Thierry Alibert said try.
Somebody thrown a pineapple on the pitch. Have a look at this. What is that?
I think it's Sean's hair, isn't it?
Dougal from the Magic Roundabout.
Hey, I tell you what, with your Barnett at the moment, I don't know how you have the nerve.
Talking to Steve-O.
Come on, gentlemen, can we change the subject? Thank you.
Try. What do we think? Try.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, Steve Ganson's decision is what counts. He's given it. And now St Helens supporters are cheering.
Well, Craig Fitzgibbon must be furious after the stat that you threw at us.
Yes. Hexton. Gidley with the try for St Helens. He opened the scoring against Hull at Wembley in 2008. He got a try, 2 tries in the first round against Warrington here last year in a comeback win. Is this going to be a comeback win?
It all started from the break from Kyle Eastman.
I don't think that was a penalty.
Well, he lifts it on the second go, and if you lift it, it states that and it is a penalty.
I think Eastman was on his way because he thought that the tackle had not been completed. And I think Jordan Tansey thought the same. And Ben Thaler put him in the bin.
Either way, they're down to 12, they scored the try.
And it could be a match-changing decision.
Plenty of time.
Matt Gidley, not just known for his flick, has got a devastating right foot step as well, and you saw there, people always try and wedge defence on him and go for the winger. Sometimes he just steps in off that right foot. Strong man, hard to stop.
They've kicked the goal, it's 26-6. There's plenty of time. There's over a quarter of an hour. And don't forget, this is St Helens. Hull will be desperate to make sure that St Helens do not get on one of their famous rolls.
Well, Richard Agar, the coach, will just get the message out, and they'll realise, Will Hull, that they've just got to make sure that there's strong line of defence, which has been so good nearly throughout this game. But there's Leon Price. Suddenly he's got a bit excited. He's moving over the advantage line.
Well, suddenly they have a belief that perhaps something's on here. That's a high kick. And it's come out. It's still the last tackle, says the referee. There's the kick again. He's looking for Gary Wheeler. And it's picked up by Richard Whiting, who is tackled by his opposite number, Gary Wheeler.
He did
21
very
on 21.
well to cover two parts of the field, Richard Whiting. Again, a player with great utility value for the whole club, and has been for several years. Down to 12 men, he was helping out midfield and then came back over to the right where the kick went through.
Saints 14 minutes away from starting 2010 with a home defeat. They were beaten here 4 times last year. In their table-topping years, there were 6 of them in all. They were virtually invincible on this ground. This is their last year on this ground. And Hull are 26-6 up.
Okay, kick it clear.
And the kick finds... Oh, it's a knock-on by Wellens.
Oh, I can't believe it. He's normally safe as houses. And Wellens, he was facing away. He had his body in the right direction, but then drags it back. Look at this. He's furious with himself. Very rare you see that.
Like you say, you almost never see that, Steve-O. It's just going to be one of them days. I think when you see Paul Wellens do something as unusual as that, it just might be one of them days. Just keep an eye on Lee Radford and Lee Radford's effort in defence. He epitomises everything that Hull have been about tonight. He's tremendous.
Yes, bitterly disappointed to lose the captaincy to Sean Long, but says it makes sense. And he's a leader on the field anyway, Radford. I think that was the point that Sean Long was making in the interview pre the match. There's enough leaders out there.
He'll be
Sean Long is the captain with the armband, but there are leaders all over the park.
Well, he is the leader of the pack. It's as simple as that. And he's done a fine sterling effort tonight.
This is Richard Whiting for Hull underneath the tackle of Nick Fozzard. Ooh, that's an awful play, the ball, and it's deemed to be a knock-on.
Well, they haven't come up with many errors in the second half, but there's one of them.
From their point of view, when they make the error, it's 10 metres away from the St Helens post.
Yeah, it's in a good position. That they should be very pleased with themselves. An all-round performance where everybody has just dug in. They've worked as a unit. They've shared the workload as well. And the substitutions from Richard Agar has been very well balanced.
He's been very active in the close season with his signings. Long, Fitzgibbon, O'Malley here, of course. Jordan Turner signed from Salford. They really do look stronger than this time last year, don't they? And this scoreline says it all.
Yeah, and the freedom that we spoke about in just giving Richard Horne, taking away a little bit of the responsibility, or should we say a lot of responsibility. And Sean Long's that type of player. You just sort of felt that this was going to be the day, wasn't it? The return of the hero.
Well, here's the apprentice, and he gets the ball away to Leon Price, but Richard Whiting was on him in a flash. And as well as the Quicksilver attack, Hull's defence has been pretty solid tonight so far. Here's Cunningham, though.
And their fitness levels, they look very, very high indeed. The way that they are coming as a unit, they're not just trotting through, they want to get involved.
That's a great ball. It's Flannery, and the comeback is maybe on, and is maybe gathering pace. What a fabulous pass from Wilkin it was that opened up the Hull defence. Flannery with the try. Suddenly the crowd underneath us are applauding, and suddenly there's a belief out there in the fog.
Well, I put the marker on this whole defence. The first time that they have hesitated, instead of going as a unit, they take 2 steps and stop and say, where's he going? Tell you where he is. His number 13, his name's Flannery, and he's gone over for a try. Don't tell me we can have it. You never know.
And the Eastman's added the extras. 26-12. They're coming back. They're coming back.
Well, in a sport where every second counts, I think Kyle Eastman's done a remarkable job there to tee that ball up and kick what was a very difficult conversion, to get the extra 2 points, but to keep the clock ticking. And St Helens, and anybody who's watched them for the last 3 or 4 years would know, very often score back-to-back tries here. In the next 6 plays, they look for that quick play of the ball, and they all come flooding at you. White jerseys all around the ball. This is a difficult 1 minute here now.
Here's Farsavalu to drive it forward.
They've got to test their arm, they've got to try everything, and they've got to try to launch something from deep, because Hull perhaps will not be expecting that. Now then, big question for Richard Agar. Does he go into close-down mode, kick and chase, which has been effective throughout this game? That's what I would be doing. Never mind being fancy and scoring extra points. Hang on for this. They've got enough on the board as far as I'm concerned.
Good run there from Pulatua. This is Price. And here is Eastman taking the line on. Berrigan was in there. Wilkin again, another good ball to Flannery, but Whiting watched it all the way with Fitzgibbon. That's the last tackle. 40 metres away from the Hull line. Little dink over the top, but well read by Whiting.
Johnny on the spot. Not only is he being solid in defence, he realised what was happening there.
Let's bear in mind they're down to 12 men as well. I think what's left on the sin bin clock, do we know? They'll need to get Tansey back on the field as soon as possible.
In the last minute of the sin bin, we think it's Jordan Tansey, but it's been an expensive stint on the sideline, hasn't it? 2 tries. Here's Fitzgibbon again. Apparently, over there on the far side, gentlemen, Jordan Tansey is on the touchline, waiting to come into the action as Danny Houghton drives it forward.
Surely they'll go on the blind side for the kick, which they do.
Long. It bounces through for Long, but Eastman has it. For St Helens, here comes the counter. It's Roby. They've switched from defence to attack, as they do so often. Suddenly Hull look a little bit vulnerable. Here is Wilkin. Poor pass. Bounces and finds Price. This is Flannery. Here's Gary Wheeler. Wheeler cuts inside. Flannery to Farsavalu. Farsavalu driving for the line.
All of a sudden, Kyle Eastman's come alive over the last 8 minutes.
Cunningham. Oh, Price picked up by Craig Hall. And Craig Hall will go the length of the field, will he? Gidley's after him. Oh, great tackle by Wheeler.
Wonderful stuff there by Wheeler. He shouted at Gidley, come across him, force him back on the inside, I've got him numbered. That was great work there.
That was Long at dummy half. That's Horn, I think, with a kick to the corner. And that will be a goal line dropout.
Great play. They don't have to score. That's a great play from Richard Horn.
Not only that, on the second tackle as well. Instead of just eating up the clock, just put them on the pressure. Wasn't the best pass to Leon Price. And look here, watch Wheeler, he's shouting. He's saying, you take that, let's force him in, I've got him. Great combination.
Short dropout. That wasn't inside the 10. Oh, that was not outside the 10, and it's a penalty underneath the sticks.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, it was worth a try.
He looked as though he was almost over the white line.
Well, I think it's been badly done to her here.
He leapt from the other side of the 10-metre line.
But does the ball break the white line? Once the ball breaks 10 metres?
Well,
Yeah,
I wonder whether it... No, I think he's touched it inside the 10 and he's knocked it forward and collected it. It's a difficult, decision.
It's a big one from the touch judge there. That was slide rule stuff.
They ran it.
They haven't gone for the 2. The ball has come back. This is Long again. He's given it to Fitzgibbon. They're just winding the clock down, aren't they?
That's
That ball was stolen.
They'll take the 2 now.
I don't think they will. Will they?
Yeah, of course they will. Each up at least a minute. No, it looks like
Well, Danny Houghton is
going to take the tap. Oh, they're greedy for more points.
Cusack on the drive.
Oh, it's foggy, but they want to rub salt into the wounds here.
I like this. This is confident.
Houghton to Long. He spreads it to Horn again. The ball has hit the deck, I think, over there. Referee shouting play on. Still with the black and whites. It's Yeeman, I think, or is it Briscoe?
Hold it! Go, well done.
It's Briscoe.
Well, will they go for the drive?
This is Manu.
Go for the drive, go to the post. Sean Long.
Hold the line.
Let's have one. Drop goal. Put the icing on the cake.
It's with Long. That's Radford.
Is Long moving back? No, he's going to be first receiver.
That's Houghton. Scampering run from the young replacement hooker.
Will he go? Well,
Last one. Back he comes to Long. Dabs it through. It bounces kindly. I think it's a try under the sticks. Fitzgibbon was chasing it. Was it Richard Horne who got the final touch? Or was it Berrigan? Berrigan, that's Yeeman who's being congratulated. Blimey. Pick any one of 17, fellas.
it's a black and white, Eddie, don't worry about it. Well, we were calling for the 1 point. We thought they'd go for the penalty to eat up the clock. But they are showing the confidence. The salt has well and truly been rubbed into the wound. And boy, it is painful. But full credit to them. They've outplayed this St. Helens outfit. They got a little bit of a luck with the kick. It ricocheted all over the place. Put under pressure there by Craig Fitzgibbon. I think he got a boot to it. And Yeeman says, I'll take it. It's a rout. Courtesy of this man.
Yeeman's try right under the post. Fitzgibbon. And it will be Old Faithful that will be ringing round this ground tonight. Not when the Saints go marching in. Fitzgibbon adds the extra points. It's 32-12. And Hull's season is up and running with a vengeance.
The decision there, Eddie, not to take those 2 points, it tells you something that we can't often read from up here in the commentary box or when you're on the terraces, is the confidence that's running throughout that team. Everything says take the 2, take the 2. But Sean Long and the decision makers in that whole team obviously feel that they can go for more. Very, very confident display.
That short kick-off did just go the 10 metres, just. It bounced about 3 or 4 centimetres the right side of the whitewash.
Well, they made sure it bounced as well. And Hull didn't want to get involved.
What a return. What a return for Sean Long.
He's had a wonderful match.
Here's Flannery.
Oh, what a day it's been for the sports fans in Hull.
Yes.
2-1 win over Manchester City, and then to come here to St. Helens and put up a win like this and start the season, I suppose, unless you're a Hull Kingston Rovers fan. It's been a great afternoon.
Well, Hull KR will have their turn tomorrow against Salford. We've got something to live up to now after this. Tansey picks up the loose ball. 2 minutes remaining. An outstanding start to the season for Hull. Mind you, as I said at half-time, just temper your enthusiasm if you're a black and white fan. They won the first 5 last year, then the wheels gradually fell off. But you get the impression, having watched this tonight, albeit through a blanket of fog, that this is a different Hull FC team. St Helens News, Bill.
Yeah, Eddie, Saints are hurting tonight, not just this result, but also on the bench, literally. You've got A.D. Gardner, he's popped a rib, possibly a couple of ribs, and that's probably going to keep him out for a while. Soliola has suffered an ankle injury. James Graham's got this chest bruising problem, and now Maury Fasavalu has left the field with what looks as though it's going to be a lovely shiner just below his left eye. It's been a rough night for St Helens.
It has. It's been a shocking night at the office. 4 players with injury and a 20-point margin against them, and we enter the last minute of the match. Wheeler is in touch, courtesy of the tackle from Craig Hall. And Hull celebrate the tackle from Hall almost as strongly as they celebrate the tries.
And when you look through this forward pack, which is very, very big indeed, great defence yet again, and that is something that Richard Agar will be so happy with. But the introduction of Mark O'Mealy, Berrigan, he was very influential, especially in the first half. The hard work rate of Lee Ratford, Willie Manu, Tickle, the experienced Craig Fitzgibbon just settled things down when they needed it. And what about Luaki? He's had a sensational game. They have laid the platform, and they've thrown the gauntlet down to the rest of Super League.
Listen to the Hull faithful. They are counting down to a famous first night victory. They celebrate. St Helens supporters show their frustration. The Saints players are booed from the field.
I think that's a bit unfair, Eddie, because they have tried their hardest.
They have.
The thing is that they've, you know, some fans have got to sometimes respect how good the opposition played against them. And I can say, and I have seen it tonight, that Hull, they forced most of those errors with their defensive quality, their enthusiasm. They were eager. They got straight into it. They came in defence with speed. They just absolutely battered St Helens. It wasn't as though the Saints were just off form. It was the true fact that Hull are superb.
And guess who's the man of the match? There he is, Sean Long. What a return. He's with Bill.
Sean, man of the match, champagne. Well, who writes your scripts?
I don't know, but it's not all about myself tonight. It was a good team performance, and I thought they threw everything at us, St Helens, in the first 20 minutes, and we didn't crack. And that was we took a lot out of that, and then we just soaked it all up and then hit them on the counter. The Saints are a quality side, and to hold them out in the first half are fantastic. And it's all to the boys. This champagne is for the boys.
But I mean, you must, even a player of your experience, maybe a few butterflies tonight as to how it would go. This exceeded your expectations.
Yeah, I love it. I've not been this nervous for a game for a long time. Like grand finals, last 3-4 years, nothing. Today I was more nervous today than anything. I had to keep it inside. I had to suck it all up and not let the boys know I was nervous. Otherwise, my head would have gone. But yeah, I was really pleased with the performance, and full credit to the Hull lads. They were fantastic.
And the try bonus.
Oh yeah, what a swan dive that was. Buzzing.
Yeah. Well done tonight, Sean. You also get £100 for a charity of your choice.
Steve Prescott Fund.
Well done, Sean. Man of the match. Craig Fitzgibbon joins us as well. You've got a dream record against Saints, haven't you? The second time you played against them, you hammered them again.
Yeah, it is. Lucky start for us. Might have caught him on a little bit of an off day, but I think early on we weathered the storm there and managed to gather momentum a little bit. So yeah, it was a great start for us, I think.
You must have looked at the conditions tonight and thought, what have I got myself into here?
No, it was bizarre. It was nice and sunny on the way in, and as soon as we got into the ground, the fog dropped down. So yeah, it was a little bit tough at times to see where the ball was going, but just thankful to get here and get a win.
You've heard about these supporters. What do you make of this tonight?
Yeah, they're mad. Love it. They're really good to us when we played over Richard's testimonial a few weeks back against Hull KR, and the noise they make, the travelling gang down there, it's really good list of spirits.
Of course, they're going to go away now thinking, right, grand final, here we come. I think it's feet on the ground time, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't won anything yet, but half the other teams in the competition are going to be on the same points as us after the weekend, so A lot of work to go, but yeah, certainly a pleasing start to come here and get a win.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
They look like they're going to be a force. 32-12, they have beaten St Helens. It's not been the happiest of start for St Helens. It's been a fantastic start for Hull FC and Sean Long. Saints poor, Hull good, Hull great. What do you say, Phil?
I think Hull's showing us what they'll be able to do this year. It's very rare that you see a length of the field try against St Helens here at this stadium, and Hull had the ability to do it. They've got the speed to do it. Sean Long on the end of that play. Here we then saw, again, an effort to have in defence to hold up James Graham over the line. The second length of the field try. This guy's got talent, we know that, Tom Briscoe. He's got speed, and none of the St Helens back players could get close to hold him and prevent him from scoring another try, really. And then you knew at that point there was going to be some response from St Helens. There was a positive one. Kyle Eastman tried his hardest. He took them downfield. Tansey was sent to the sin bin, and shortly after that, Gidley showed what magic footwork he has in such a tight space. That was a try. And then a second for St Helens with a brilliant pass there, Wilkin to Flannery. Lovely play between those two. But I think it was only fitting on a day like this that Hull went in as the final score. Little grubber kick into the tight area, ricocheted, a lot of black and white shirts in that tight frame, and enough then to fall on the loose ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's the start of something maybe for Hull. We shouldn't write St Helens off, but there's an interesting statistic going back to the end of last year. They lost 5 of their last 8 in 2009, including the grand final against the Leeds Rhinos, and they've come up with a defeat in the opening match of 2010. Is it a difficult time right now to be a Saints supporter? Should they have booed them?
I think most supporters get emotional and they have a very short memory. If you remember, they don't particularly start in this weather very well. When the weather gets better is when you tend to see St Helens at the best. A seismic change. They've now got Kyle Eastman trying to organise and run the side after Sean Long did it for a decade so successfully. No, but I'm saying it's a transition, isn't it? And in one match, they aren't going to be back as good as they possibly could be. But Hull, with the belief that they'll get from here, they've got a real chance this year.
They have fantastic for Hull to start the season so brightly, and more live action to